Okay, good day, everybody. Here for yet another podcast, going through the Bible, verse by verse. We're in the book of John. We've made it all the way up to chapter 18 right now. 18. Uh, Finished verse 39 last week. Moving to 40 this week. Now let me back up a few verses, read a few verses before that, before I get to 40. It says, Pilate said to them, said to him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again to the Jews and said to them, I find in him no fault, but you have a custom that I should release to you one at the Passover. Will you therefore that I release to you the King of the Jews? Excuse me. Then cried excuse me. Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber. Barabbas was a robber. Let's read that again. But you have a custom that I'm sorry, that's 40. Then cried they all again, saying, This man, not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber. As far as this sinful crowd goes, everyone said Jesus was evil, worth death. So that should be enough for Rome. Should be enough for Rome. Jesus should die. It never occurred to them that just because a crowd says it doesn't mean it's true, especially if the witnesses don't agree. Okay? Just because a crowd says something or believes something don't mean it's true. I mean, I think Ralph Hand, a whole crowd supported Adolf Hitler. Okay? Would you say he was right? No. David Koresh, crowd supported David Koresh. Okay? Just because a crowd says something or a bunch of people says something is true, don't mean it's true. That's something they didn't get and we still don't get today. Whole crowds, whole churches will turn their back on you just because something they've heard. They don't bother coming to you themselves and talking to you themselves to find out the truth about you, to try to get to know you, to see if this fact is true. They'll simply turn their backs on you. And in their holy righteousness. Okay, I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. Okay. Um. Then they chose a robber over Jesus. They chose Caesar over Christ. Okay. We are no different. We choose our church boards, our society, our mothers and fathers. We'll choose all that over Jesus. Uh, Now moving into chapter 19. 19. Then Pilate took Jesus and scourged him. Jesus, had no fault. Pilate wants to try to have it both ways. He was trying to release Jesus and appease the crowd. This yet again does nothing to prove the guilt of Christ. This proves the sinfulness of mankind as we side with the world, as he sided with the world and conveniently tried to send Jesus on his way and tried to send Jesus out of his way. Us having to deal with him, as much as he was trying to get rid of Pilate without having to deal with him as much as possible. Okay, and we are no different. Okay, we'll go to church Sunday morning. We'll call ourselves saved, but we don't read the Bible the rest of the week because we don't want to deal with it. We don't feel guilty. Okay? The lives of Christians show it. Your life shows it. I've seen how you live. Next. And the soldiers planted a crown of thorns and put it on. I'm sorry. The soldiers made a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put a purple robe over him. All this was being done to try to appease the crowd. Because remember, Pilate found no fault in him. That's why he's being whipped. Pilate had found no fault in him. Okay? Be careful. Even though you have no fault, or I have no fault, people won't hesitate to treat you just like this. Sure, they won't whip you physically, but they will with their tongue when they assault you verbally and believe the lies that people have told them about you and repeat it. Okay, anyhow, this was a cruel way to try to appease the crowd. But this, like I said, this happens so many times in the modern church. You have to appease the large donors or the group in charge, and Christ is secondary in their lives. Okay, it happens all the time. You got to appease those donors, that big family, instead of preaching Christ. Okay, it happens all the time. All the time. This is why so many Christians have questionable lives. Christ isn't primary. Since he isn't primary, I wonder if he's even there at all. I mean, think about it. If he isn't primary, how can you say he's there at all? Verse 4. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto him, Behold, I bring him. He said unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that you may know that I find no fault in him. Once again, if there is no fault, why did they flog him? Pilate is trying to appease the crowd. He didn't care about truth. He just wanted to appease the crowd. He just wanted them to go away. Okay, 5. Then Jesus came forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. They crowned him with thorns and a robe to mock him as king, all while he was king. We mock him as king with our blasphemous lifestyle, all while he is king and God over all. And we will all stand before him to be judged, for all know the truth, regardless of whether you admit it or not. You know the truth. Okay, I have that on good authority. Okay, my authority, Romans chapter 1 verses 18 through 20. Listen to this part. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven, all unrighteousness, all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in righteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, and God has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power of the Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Okay, there is enough evidence out there in the world for you to know who God is. Okay, you're without excuse. Okay, there's enough evidence in nature to believe in God. And the very act of atheists and other religions testify to the fact that they know God of the Bible. They know the God of the Bible is true. Because if the God of the Bible isn't true, then why are they trying to destroy a God that isn't real? because if he isn't real, then he can't hurt them. Then you have no need of disproving him. So your very actions prove the existence of God in Christ. Okay? They know the truth. Just like you know the truth. Okay? You will be held accountable for your actions. And don't tell me you don't know what actions I'm talking about. Okay, I see it every day. Okay, so next verse. When the chief priest, therefore, and the officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Take ye him, and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. The hypocrisy in this statement. He found no fault in Christ, yet he had Jesus beat just to please the crowd and the religious leaders. This is what pleasing people instead of God gets you. But let us look again at Pilate. He said he found no fault in Jesus. That means Jesus was sinless. He couldn't be both human and God, okay, without being good. Okay, that's what you don't get. Okay, 7. The Jews answered him, We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. There is just one small problem here. He was the Son of God, is the Son of God. His miracles proved it. And he had to be God if he was sinless and good. Because remember, Pilate found no fault in him. Okay? You can't be human, okay, without and sinless. Okay, there has to be something else there. You can be human and God and be sinless, but you can't be human and be sinless. Okay? Because Romans 3 tells us there's none who does good. Okay? That means you're not good. Okay? Your shows that you put on church every Sunday as you go out into the world and live totally different. It's not fooling nobody. Okay? Okay? The way you praise proves all of that. Okay? The way you act and praise proves all of that. Of course, I'm going to deal with that later. I'm writing a book on this. Okay? But anyhow, the only way for Pilate to find no fault is for Jesus to be good, be God. And the only way for him to be good is to be God. Okay? That's it. The question is whether you believe it or not. So far, I ain't seen evidence of this in the vast majority of the church. Okay. But anyhow, this is the end for this week. Goodbye. God bless you.